Hello, if you don't know who I am, my name's Cameron England and I want to run you through how I work an average of 12 to 13 hours a day like an absolute psychopath. Now, here's proof that I'm not full of shit. I use an app called Rise. It basically audits and optimizes my productivity and what I do within the day. We can see last week, today's date is the 30th of May, my average work day was 13 hours and 20 minutes. Out of that, I did around 93 hours, 22 minutes of deep work. Within that, not deep work, sorry, just total work. And what that basically means is factoring out entertainment. So entertainment last week we can see was 3 hours and 47 minutes. Everything else, building SOPs, team communication, client admin, meetings, marketing, planning, ads management, all of this is put on here, okay? So you might be asking, well, how the hell do you do 13-hour days without burning out? Because that's absolutely ridiculous. I'll show you this week. My average is like 11 hours. Yesterday I had a pretty light day. Oh no, tell lies, like 12 hours 53. Day before that was 14 hours. And a Monday was 11 hours 51. And just for full context and clarity, every Tuesday I do a fast. I don't eat, which means I work a lot more, okay? So if you're wondering, Cameron, how on earth are you working that amount of hours within the day? And how does that even make you happy? Like, why would you even want to work that amount, right? And you're completely right, but sometimes it needs to be done. In terms of social proof as to why you should even believe that this is something that truly changed my life and why your ability to work like a psychopath for 13 and 14-hour days can literally change your entire reality and the outcomes that you get. All time, over the course of, from the 1st of January 2022 to now, I've made a total of around $634,000 Great British Pounds, which is $806,000. So nearly made $1 million now, and I'm 18 years old. I'm not special, I'm not gifted. Yes, I'm pretty good at communication, but I pretty much just honed that skill in by basically documenting everything on YouTube. And just to give you some context for this month where we're at, made around 60k Great British Pounds, which for all you American geezers out there is around $76,000, okay? So I will tell you that the number one most important thing is focus and your ability to do what other people are not willing to do. And a big thing that I pride myself on is I know for a fact there is people with more experience than me, that are better than me, that are further ahead than me. So it makes sense, by definition, that in order to get ahead of them, I need to be doing more than them. I know if people are doing, say, 10-hour-a-day work days, that's great. A lot of people would class that as over the top. But if I'm doing 13, that additional 3 hours a day is going to compound, and it's going to allow me to improve at a much faster rate than other people in the marketplace, okay? And you might be wondering, well, Cameron, what other social proof do you have? You've made the money, but how did your life improve as a byproduct of you working like an absolute psychopath? Now, this was me around 2 years ago. No, this was about 4 years ago. 5 years ago, I was obese, and then I was doing drugs and smoking weed and getting pissed up every single weekend. And then I started boxing, and then I went all in, joined Hustlers University, and then went on monk mode and kind of shaved my head to look like Andrew Tate and thought I was cool. And as a byproduct of that, I've been able to collaborate with a number of different people that you might have seen in the space, which I used to look up to. Now I can say that I'm friends with. I mean, Charlie Morgan, Brian Moncada, Matt Shields, people like this, Thomas Gonnett, people like this, Max Pearson, who has gone and met Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzi, all these other great names as well. And not only that, Stevie Johnston, I've had a lot of calls with him, and Thomas Gonnett, right? And another thing is my physique has improved. So I went from being this super, super fat beach ball to being a little bit less of a fat beach ball, but still a bum and still a degenerate, to where I am now, which definitely not where I want to get to, definitely not where I want to be, but we're getting there, right? So how does this tie in to working 13-hour days? And how do I do it every single day without getting burnt out? That's the question that you want the answer to, and I'm going to run you through it now. Now, piece number one is simple, and I went over it in my previous video. Block every single thing in every single day. I've gone a couple of weeks ahead because I don't want to show how invasive my calendar is at the moment, just because there's a lot of fluff on there and a lot of things I don't really want people to see, such as sales calls and things like that. But I know exactly what I'm working on before the day even starts, and I always plan the day today for tomorrow. And there's two tools that I use for this. Number one, I use a warm app. So say it's Monday the 1st of July today. Well, I know at the end of today, before I go to bed, non-negotiable, I will plan out the 5 things that I need to do for that day. So when I wake up the next day, I'm not sat there for hours thinking, oh, what am I going to do here? What am I going to do there? I've got it scheduled on the calendar. I've got it on the warm app, and I also have it on a Google Doc broken down in terms of chain of priorities from least to most. And I always get all of my deep work done in the morning when nobody can contact me, okay? This is what I'd like to call nightmare time, okay? Or like shut off time. Nobody's messaging me. I'm not checking WhatsApp, I'm not checking my emails, I'm not even checking Slack for the first 4 to 5 hours of the day, because that is deep work time. That is where I'm moving the big projects forward, okay? And a big thing that's also allowed me to stay on a positive trajectory throughout the course of the last 1 to 2 years and allowed me to generate $75,000 this month was tracking my habits. This is something that I started doing on the rear end of 2023. And you can see here how, as I leveled up as an individual, not only did the amount of money I made, but also my ability to stay consistent with my habits. So if we look here, at the rear end of Q3, I would snooze the alarm quite frequently, right? I would break promises to myself, I was inconsistent, I wasn't acting in alignment with my conscience. Checking bank, this is a little bit invasive, but screw it. Again, I'm trying to just give you as much value as you can. I heard Alex and Mosey say, hey, first thing you want to do when you wake up, check your bank balance. That's going to motivate you more than anything else, right? And you can see how my bank balance did go up. Calories, you can see my diet was shocking. It was like a 50-50 as to whether I would actually stay on my diet. Here, I ate 2 tea cakes, I ate Chinese, I drunk, I binge ate. It was just all over the place, right? And as a byproduct of that, this is where my income was all over the place. Number one, I wasn't scheduling things, I wasn't staying consistent, I wasn't acting in alignment with my conscience. And this one is where it really gets bad. Soda. I literally drunk soda every single day. For a lot longer probably for like a year straight. It was only this month, May, where I cut all my bad habits out and I went all in, and I've made the most growth personally, professionally and financially. Food tracker, I'll track my food, again, inconsistent. Deep work, I was pretty good at this, but I was only doing 2 hours of focused work a day. Now I do like 6, and I've got laser focus. And then workout tracker, same thing. And then evening routine, again, it would be inconsistent. And now if we go to last month or this month, May, there is not a single thing I missed. Not a single thing. I weighed myself every day, I had creatine every day, I meditated every day, I looked at my vision every day, I journaled, I worked out, I checked my email, I did all my afternoon workflow, I did all my evening workflow. And this is how you become a winner. This is how you achieve optimal focus, optimal well-being, optimal happiness. I've never been as happy as I am now. And I'm working 13 hours a day. And I've done this every single day in May. I haven't took a single day off. Sometimes you need to go through these periods where you shut the whole world out, you go all in, because this is where the most growth comes in the business, and this is what I've seen. This month, I brought on a new client success manager. I built out like 4 boot camps for new team members to come on board. I've dialed in our hiring applications. I signed 11 new clients and added an additional $22,000 in month-over-month revenue growth to our business. We churned 0 clients, and we got like 5 5-star Trustpilot reviews, 3 video testimonials. We upsold 2 clients. Things are incredible right now, purely because of my ability to focus on the task at hand and just stick to my word. I don't really know where I'm going with this video. I just want to emphasize the importance of scheduling time. Working like a psychopath isn't necessarily something that is sustainable long term, but short term, when you have projects you need to move forward and you want to achieve growth in one division of your life, for me it was business this month, and my health and my fitness, you need to go all in, and that's exactly what I did. And I'll tell you one final thing that I did that really helped me, and I kind of get goosebumps when I go back and read it. I journaled every single day, but again, I was a little bit inconsistent with it. You can see here, this time last year, I was telling myself, I'll make 100K in my agency, I'll make 100K in my agency, I'll make 100K in my agency, I'll get to 20K a month with my agency, this time last year, right? And I was literally just journaling about everything. I'm not going to scroll up and down because there's a lot of personal information on here, but one thing I would highly recommend that you do is start to journal the ins and outs of what your life looks like every single day, no matter how you feel. You can use an app called Day One. It is absolutely game changing. So when you're going through periods of adversity, look back on your journal and reflect at where you was this time last year. Because I do this, I'm freaking out now at the fact that we're at like 75K and we're not at 100K. I look back here. Me 2 years ago could have only dreamed and wished of being in Spain, traveling the world, meeting incredible people, and literally having these people on WhatsApp that make millions of dollars every year. Some of them, like Charlie, like nearly $1 million a month, and I can just message him from my phone. I don't have to pay for it, purely because I've built the connections that have allowed me to do that by leveling up my character. I see life literally like a video game. So yeah, that's pretty much the main things that I wanted to go over. I know this was a little bit all over the place, but I wanted to get a video out, wanted to help other people who were in a situation like me. And if you want to learn more about who I am and what I do, if you go ahead and go to YouTube and you look at my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see that I've literally been documenting everything, as it says here, from when I started this agency around 1.5 years to 1.75 years ago, when I made no money, when I was flat broke, when I was overweight and I was unhappy and I looked like a 4-year-old, to now where I look less like a 4-year-old, the beard is coming through, and I generated $75,000 this month, and I have, as per se, location and financial freedom. Okay? That's it. Appreciate it. Oh, and by the way, 2 things that I forgot to mention. Number 1, you're always going to fall off, but it's important that you have a falling off framework when and if you do, right? I can work 13 hours a day, but I can do it for a month. I couldn't probably do it for 3 years without falling off. So it's important that you have something like this that I reflect on every single week, called the falling off framework, right? You ask yourself, what is the thing or things that you've been falling off and staying inconsistent with? Why have you fallen off with it? Is the reason for you missing it rational or reasonable? What could I do to get back on track easier? And is this something that is putting you out of alignment with your goals, right? So I was doing this every single week and auditing what my life looked like and what I fell off on to make sure that I could get back on track. And number 2 would be documenting everything online. So you'll see, if you've got me on Instagram right now, something that I've been trying for the whole month of May, which is why I've been able to work like an absolute psychopath and not burn out and continue on this positive trajectory and have the most growth personally, financially and professionally, is because I've had external accountabilities. So number 1, on YouTube, I document everything I do. Number 2, on Instagram, every single day I'm documenting everything I do. So I know if I have a shit day, not only is it going to affect my confidence internally, externally, people are going to think I'm a failure, and I do not like the thought of that. So keep that in mind. Maybe if you want to stay consistent, you just need to hold yourself accountable externally, which maybe long term isn't great if you care about what other people think, but I definitely do, and I think it's important that especially in the early stages of entrepreneurship, whatever driving factors you have or levers you can pull to make yourself as much money as possible and make sure that you're on the right trajectory, then pull the damn levers, my boy.